Now, we're in slight short supply of 5-year-olds. So I thought I might volunteer Isabella and Tony, our noble church wardens, to come up and be my team leaders for our children's focus. I know you can't really say no. So Isabella, would you like to take part on this side, and Tony, you'll just be with this side. Now, we've got 4 questions to ask, 2 to each team, to see who really paid attention yesterday. So question number 1, first picture. This team here, what is this a picture of? And Tony, you select the answer from your team that you think is going to win.
The crowds of the coronation.
The crowds of the coronation. And how do you think they were feeling, Tony?
I think pretty joyful.
Quite joyful. And was there anything happening that might have possibly marred their joyfulness? What they're wearing might just give it away? Rain. But you do know rain is a blessing, don't you? Every coronation, the last 4 coronations, it rained. And if you lived in Israel, you would know that meant God was blessing you. So, thank you. Number 2 for your team, Isabella. Can you name the man wearing the crown in this picture? These are for 5-year-olds, remember. And she said,
King Charles III.
King Charles III, the moment he'd just been crowned. Wonderful, that's 1 point each so far. Picture number 3. Now, Tony, for your team. Are there any very important people in that picture which your team might like to name? 2 in particular. Remember, you're 5 years old.
Louis and Charlotte.
Yeah, that's fine. Go no further. They're the very important people. We've got Prince Louis, the little one, pointing the finger, and his big sister, Princess Charlotte, who was trying to keep him in order for most of the service, I think. Well done, team number 1. Team number 2, your last picture is this one. Now, who can tell me something about this person, very important person, who was at the coronation? This is obviously a really difficult question. You probably deserve 2 points for this.
We worked out that he was a young 14-year-old who read the 11 who read the initial question to King Charles.
And his name is Samuel. He was the chorister who spoke to the king and said, "We are the children, as children of the kingdom of heaven, we welcome you here." Samuel Strachan, Your Majesty, as children of the kingdom of God, we welcome you in the name of the King of Kings, because King Charles was about to be crowned as king, but as king who would come and serve. Now, just to illustrate what it might mean to serve, I've got a little test here for your team leaders, if you don't mind taking part. I have here 2 bowls of yummy Smarties. Would you like to come and stand beside a bowl of yummy Smarties? And I have here some very special coronation spoons. And I'm going to present one to Tony. Pretend you don't know how to do this. To Isabella. And you have to hold the spoon by the end, otherwise it doesn't work. I want you to try and feed as many Smarties as you can. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to see how many from the end, and then put it in your mouth. Okay, ready, steady, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Now, there's a reason why that didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work was because they were trying to feed themselves. I didn't say feed yourself. I said, how many Smarties could you feed in 10 seconds? Let's see what happens if you change...
You also said act as a 5-year-old.
Act as a 5-year-old. Oh, sorry, yes, that's true. I did say act as a 5-year-old. Some 5-year-olds are very generous, actually, Tony. I expect you were when you were 5. Now, let's see what happens if they change their mindset and feed one another in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much indeed. There are Smarties for everybody at the end of the service if you feel like taking any, or feeding each other. So just a little illustration of what it means to enjoy the goodness and the gifts that we have in this life, but we enjoy them best when we serve each other, when we feed one another. And that's what the king's reply to Samuel was at the beginning of the service yesterday, that he had come to be like Jesus, not to be like Jesus, but to follow Jesus' example. He said, in his name and after his example, I come not to be served, but to serve.